Just like Rioja and Priorat, Ribera del Duero is another famed red region of Spain. It is actually located right near Rueda. It is on that same 2,000 foot plus plateau. This is Tempranillo country. It's a very different Tempranillo than what you're going to find in Rioja, but it is also second behind Rioja for total DO wine production in Spain. So there's a lot of wine being produced in Ribera del Duero, most out of small family-owned operations. More than half the wineries make less than 9,000 cases of wine annually. Only a few make more than 75,000 cases. So this is a fairly small region, pretty high quality, on the banks of the Duero River, which eventually becomes the Douro River and flows out to the Atlantic in Portugal. There's about 55,000 acres of vines, 315 wineries, 8,000 growers. So lots of growers selling to fewer wineries. They're on very small plots of land. And it's not that big of a region, just 71 miles east to west, 22 miles north to south. The river is really the heart of the region. It is going to moderate the temperatures, which can get blazing hot here in the summertime, and it cuts valleys, which is going to give some unique sun exposures for the vineyards of Ribera del Duero. The vineyards will flank the Duero River in the north and in the south, and this area, although very high in altitude, is a flat, rocky area, limestone cliffs, and some of the vineyards are half a mile or more above sea level. What does that mean? Even though it's warmer than Rioja, it turns out that the growing season is a lot longer because of the diurnal temperature swings. At times, 50 degrees from day to night is going to slow the ripening. It's going to soften the tannins in this area. This is the convergence of the Mediterranean climate and the Atlantic climate, but it represents the extreme climates of central Spain. Very cold winters and hot, dry, long summers. If not for elevation, you would have very flabby, terrible wines here. But because we are on this high plateau in the Meseta Central in Spain, we have these beautiful wines that wind up having a lot of complexity. This wine is the Portia 2020 Ribera del Duero Crianza. It's similar to Rioja in the aging classification. We don't always see that in Ribera del Duero, but in this case, they decided to put it on the label, which means it was aged 1 year in oak and 1 year in the bottle. In this particular case, 10 months in French oak and 2 months in American oak for that 1 year. All right, let's take a look at it. This wine was actually, the vineyards are at 2,400, almost 2,500 feet. So this is gonna have some great balance. Take a look, much darker than what you see in the Rioja. We always look at it on a white sheet of paper so we can make sure we get a good gauge of the color. If you hold it up to light, you're just gonna see the light. So super dark and inky in color, very different, like I said, from the Tempranillo from Rioja, both because this is a younger wine and also it is a hotter region. Spin it around the glass and take a sniff. Dark fruit, coffee. There's a lot of baking spice in there. It smells almost like an apple crisp to me. Some lavender notes also in this. Let's take a sip. It is a bold wine, but what I love about it is that you feel that mouth-watering acidity coming in underneath your tongue. The tannins are there, but they aren't so harsh. There is a nice balance between fruit. And again, I love those coffee, baking spice notes with a little bit of what I'm really getting, lavender herbal notes with dark fruit. So lots of complexity in this Portia 2020 Crianza. Definitely pair it with heavier foods. This is going to require some really heavy foods. You can pair this with very bold, even, you can pair this with grilled food, with barbecue, anything that's very bold and robust. This wine will go with steaks, all of that kind of stuff, mushrooms, eggplant dishes, lentils if you're a vegetarian. This wine is young. You can age it for another 5 years if you like, and it will get softer, but it is tasting really good right now. So it is a drink now wine with nice, bold food, which is great because you've got the Rioja for lighter food, and now you have the Ribera del Duero for heavier food. This shipment has lots of different possibilities in terms of food pairings, which is kind of exciting. And that's Spain, right? So many different things to explore. Heavier Tempranillo from Ribera del Duero, lighter from Rioja, but it's all really fantastic.